Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial secrets that big companies try to hide in plain sight. Today, we're diving into a report from Fractyl Health Incorporated, and let's just say things got interesting with their latest shareholder meeting. Stick around if you want to know which proposals sailed through and which ones might have had a few eyebrows raised. And hey, if you like getting these insights directly from the source, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down these reports even further. Alright, let S get straight into what Fractyl Health Incorporated reported. This form, an 8K, is essentially a company S way of telling the public about major events that shareholders should know about, and it happened on the 3rd of October 2025. So, what was the big news? It all boils down to a special meeting of their stockholders that took place on that October day. They needed to get their shareholders' approval on a couple of important matters. Now, Fractyl Health Incorporated has common stock trading on the Nasdaq Global Market under the ticker symbol GUTS. Yes, GUTS, interesting choice, if you ask me. They're also flagging themselves as an emerging growth company, which means they can take advantage of certain relaxed reporting rules. Smart move by smaller companies, or those looking to grow fast. The main event here was the voting on several proposals. Shareholders were asked to weigh in on things that significantly impact how the company operates and how it can raise capital. Out of over 50 million shares of Fractyl Health Incorporated common stock that were eligible to vote, a solid bunch, about 32.2 million shares, were represented. That is almost 65% of the voting power, meaning a good chunk of shareholders were paying attention and casting their votes, either in person or by proxy. This shows a pretty engaged shareholder base, which is generally a good sign. The first thing on the agenda was a pretty big deal. Shareholders had to approve issuing more company stock. Now, why would they need approval to do this? Well, it is tied to Nasdaq's listing rules, specifically when a company is exercising warrants from a financing transaction. Think of warrants like options to buy stock in the future at a set price. When those options are exercised, more shares are created, and Nasdaq wants shareholders to have a say in this, especially if it could dilute the value of existing shares. And the shareholders overwhelmingly said yes. A massive 31.7 million votes were cast in favor of this proposal. That's a landslide victory. Only about 411,000 votes were against it, with a small number of abstentions. This clearly indicates that the management S plan to issue more stock, likely to raise capital or fund operations, had strong backing from their investors. This approval gives them the green light to potentially bring in more money by selling more shares, which is crucial for a company looking to expand or cover its expenses. Then came Proposal 2. This one was a bit of a safety net. It was essentially asking shareholders for permission to postpone the meeting if at that moment they didn't have enough votes to pass the first proposal. It's like saying, if we were short on votes for the main event, can we have a rain check to get more people to vote yes? Again, this passed with flying colours. Over 31.7 million votes were for this, showing shareholders trust the management to handle the meeting logistics and secure necessary approvals. The opposing votes were very similar to the first proposal, just slightly fewer. This suggests that a lot of the shareholders who voted for Proposal 1 also voted for this one, reinforcing their confidence in the company S leadership and their plans. The whole report is signed off by Harith Rajagopal, the co-founder, chief executive officer, and director. This reinforces that these decisions and the reporting are coming directly from the top leadership at Fractyl Health Incorporated. Now, looking at this report, it is pretty straightforward. The company needed shareholder approval to issue more stock, likely tied to a previous financing deal involving warrants. The shareholders overwhelmingly approved it. This is not necessarily some earth-shattering piece of news, but it is good to see a company that is transparent about these kinds of capital-raising activities, and where the shareholders are actively participating. What does this all mean for Fractyl Health Incorporated? Well, it means they have the flexibility to issue more shares which they can use to fund their operations, invest in research and development, or pursue strategic initiatives. Given that they are an emerging growth company, this ability to raise capital is incredibly important for their runway and their ability to execute their business plan. The strong vote of confidence from shareholders suggests that investors believe in the company's long-term vision and its ability to generate returns. The big opportunities here are obvious. With the shareholder approval, Fractyl Health Incorporated can now more easily access funding to push forward with whatever their core business is. The risks, however, always come with issuing more stock. There is the potential for dilution, meaning the proportionate ownership of each existing shareholder decreases. However, considering the overwhelming vote in favour, it seems the shareholders believe the benefit of the capital infusion outweighs the risk of dilution. In conclusion, Fractyl Health Incorporated demonstrated strong shareholder support for its capital. Raising strategies, the company is able to move forward with plans that require the issuance of new stock, a key step for growth stage companies. It leaves me feeling moderately optimistic about their ability to execute their plans, but as always, we'll be watching those future financial reports for how they actually use this approved flexibility. Alright, that is our breakdown of this 8K filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for Fractyl Health Incorporated's future? Do you think issuing more stock is always the best move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives into corporate finance. And don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. It is a great place to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.